International smooth jazz saxophonist, songwriter Kirk Whalum, serenading concert goers at the Liquid Fruit Amphitheatre in Paarl, Sunday the 30th of March 2014.
For the first time we flipped things because normally we release a project in the United States and then other people, maybe in Europe and Japan and here in South Africa, get to hear it. Well, this time the South Africans get to hear it first, as it should be. And we'll perform some music from a CD called The Gospel According to Jazz, Chapter 4, which I will, hasten to say that we dedicate to the memory of our brother George Duke, who was a part of all the other CDs, all the, the DVDs as well. And so this is exciting for us because we found that the music from The Gospel According to Jazz is accepted here in South Africa disproportionately to the rest of the world, and we don't understand why, but we do look back though at one moment where there was a great collaboration with a very dear friend of mine, Jonathan Butler, who I was a huge fan of his long before I was his friend, and I asked him, I said, Jonathan, I'm doing this series, would you be involved? And he said, yeah, just let me know where. And same with George Duke. But, with Jonathan, I wrote a song for him to play, and he played it beautifully. I wrote another song for him to sing, and that one didn't fit so well. You know how it is, like a suit, it needs to really fit well. And so he said, I'm not feeling that. He said, you know what, I've got this worship song that, he said, I was thinking of recording it, but I don't know if it's really a song. It's more like a chorus, and it goes over and over and over again. I got it in my head, and I couldn't get it out of my head while I was hiking. He said, it's called Falling in Love with Jesus. And I said, stop right there. I said, absolutely. Just hold on to that. And so we, taught the band very quickly, and we recorded that one. And as an afterthought, and wow, the rest is history.
You're getting involved with a lot of Jonathans, I see. We're talking about Butler, you're going to be working with a young man, Jonathan Rubain. This time round, have you encountered him musically?
I haven't, but I have it in my head that the minute I actually finally meet him, I'm going to ask him to come up and play with me. So hopefully he's listening. If not, maybe his management could get that word to him that I would love to do something with him.
Yeah, I think he'll love that, and I think you'll love the energy.
The problem with the Cape Town Festival, there are not many problems. But one of the problems is that there's just not enough time because there's so many artists. Right? So we have an allotment of time. I could double that time easily, and play songs that I believe have connected with the South African audience. But again, I don't want to be, too narcissistic about it. But yeah, we'll be playing as much as we possibly can in that short time of all of my repertoire, including a song that was released 2 years ago, called years and years ago, called "I Wouldn't Be a Man," and that's a song that's sort of country soul. I don't really know what to call it, but that's something that I was very surprised that latched on here in South Africa, and I'm happy to play that one too. First of all, the people of South Africa, especially here in the Cape, are just beautiful. It struck me right away, and I think the first city I was able to go to with Whitney Houston in 1994 was Johannesburg, and Johannesburg is a lot like our New York City.
Yes.
It's very fast-paced, and people don't have a lot of time, right? Well, Cape Town is very different. Cape Town, people want to sit down and talk to you and ask you, well, how are you? And so that just strikes you right away. Then there's the waterfront. It's just so beautiful. It's just so tranquil and beautiful. I think that the spirit of Nelson Mandela, of Madiba, really does hit you in this place. Like there's a lofty kind of a love experience that it's hard to articulate, but you do feel it.
Is that the spirit of your forefathers from the motherland? Does that kind of flow through your veins? Do you find a different artist in you somehow when you are in the motherland and working with other African artists on the continent? Yes.
Undoubtedly, and I will say that the African American artist doesn't have the luxury of making music that's just we just making music to make a lot of money or whatever. We really don't, because when we have that African connection, the African diaspora is represented in our hearts and in our culture and in our music. So we really don't have a choice. It just comes out that way. And I found that songs that I've written connect in a certain way with the African audience, whether it's in Mozambique or Kenya or La Côte d'Ivoire. I just get letters from all over this continent from people who say that your music speaks to me. Now again, I didn't study Afrocentric music. I didn't go to college for that, right? So it's not like I can come from some very intellectual point of view about African music. But I do know that it does, as you say, course through my veins. So
spirit of your forefathers.
Yeah, absolutely. There was something that happened that I'll share with you that I haven't shared before. Whitney got up on stage and she said, ladies and gentlemen, she brought Nelson Mandela. She said, Nelson Mandela is your king, right? And the people, it was maddening. I've never experienced anything like it. And we were all just like, we didn't know what to do, right? So a few minutes later, she said, and Winnie is your queen.
See?
And it was pretty scary.
So are you saying indoor is like more introspective?
Well, yeah, I guess just by definition, it's nice for jazz many times because it's a little less distracted. If it's a big pop fest or reggae fest, outdoors is great. Indoors, the people tend to be a little bit more focused in on what you're doing, and they can hear it a little bit better.
And you're reaching inwards as well.
Yeah, I think so too. But again, but I like both because outdoors there's a different kind of energy that fuels your performance.
Who's Wendy Moten?
She is my favorite female vocalist. I have two singers who I love. One that I'm fortunate to work with now named Shaleya, and Wendy Moten, who, she tours with Julio Iglesias, and so she doesn't tour with anybody else pretty much, but she's from my home of Memphis, Tennessee.
Wow.
Very underrated singer.
So your little collaboration with her, was that a once-off?
Not a once-off. I mean, we've done other things, and we're actually very close. We kind of grew up together, so there are things that we do together a lot, especially at home in Memphis, where our parents were friends, But yeah, I'm hoping, we've talked about, different things to do. It's an interesting climate right now for the industry in terms of entrepreneurship, everybody, if you do something, it's because you did it yourself,
yes.
And it's nice because you get to own it, but unfortunately, that also means you have to fund it. So, she and I have talked about different ideas. We need money.
Any names there jump out at you? An artist that an artist want to see?
Sure. Well, I'll say that Layla Hathaway is pretty much my outside favorite when it comes to the soul of the music that I grew up listening to.
And you don't know her necessarily, do you? Or
we've recorded together many times.
Oh,
in fact,
great.
I won a Grammy for a song that I wrote for her.
My goodness.
Called "It's What I Do." Yeah, and my buddy Jerry Peters and I wrote the song specifically for Layla to sing, and it fit her pretty well, like a glove, and she sang it so beautifully.
And you're getting to see each other on the southern tip of the African continent.
Yeah, we actually just performed together, a few weeks ago.
Oh, okay, so you see a lot of each other.
Often, yeah.
Okay, and you would go and see Layla perform?
Oh, absolutely.
On every occasion that you get?
Any minute, yeah.
I think that says a lot about.
She just won a Grammy actually this year for a song she did called "Something," and it was like a sort of a remake that she did, just kind of on a humbug, that was a live video that went viral, and she's unbelievable. She sang a chord on that song, and it pretty much just changed the game. Like she literally sang 3 notes at the same time.
Right.
And then she did it again, just so people knew that it wasn't a mistake. And then she did it again. Here's the state of music. 'Cause I'm happy. Clap your head. Now, that to me, I'm good, man. I'm good. Music is fine. Music is fun. And the more young musicians come and they hear the music that was made by their forefathers and mothers, and they take it and they bring it into a new a generation, but with their spin on it and their spirit in it, man, we're going to be fine. I think the industry.
Are we going to be fine if they're covering stuff?
Yeah, but still remember
what happened
that
to the 70s and the 80s? Where it was a hotbed of creativity.
You're right, yeah, but see, that's not going to happen like that again. It's going to happen, but it's going to be different, and it will be because we supported them. We said, yes, go right ahead. You go ahead, sample, but eventually they'll be bringing their own spirit, but it'll have a different sound, and we have to embrace that sound. I think my son tours. He plays bass. His name is Kyle. He plays with an artist named Billy Currington, a country artist. My nephew plays with Maxwell. His name is Kenneth. My other nephew Cameron plays with Bruno Mars. And they are now a part of this whole thing that we're talking about. And they're bringing the spirit of this music that you and I love. They're bringing that. They know that music. It's in their hearts. They're in their souls.
They love it. They're not doing it for the money. Is that what you're saying?
Well, we are all doing it for the money, are we? I mean, the idea is that we do it because we can't help ourselves. But yes, it's nice when we can pay bills too, right? So no, it's all in there.
Is it true that the greatest artistic gifts have come from a pure heart and from that spirit of giving?
Absolutely,
and
without question. See, but again, I have always made music because I wanted to, because I couldn't help myself. Yeah. I just love it, But yeah, when you can raise your family and pay bills, that's a beautiful thing.